India gained its independence and the right to live with dignity because of so many Indian freedom fighters who are an inspiration for today. But we are also fighting for the rights of the animals, which is in our constitution already. Hi, this is your host Khushi Awasthi, and we are watching The Storymakers. I have with me the granddaughter of one of the most country's freedom fighters, whose name is being written in the page of history, and is here to take us through the lives of those who can't express their feelings. Let us hear the story of Indian street dogs from one such unsung hero who has been silently and timelessly helping many street dogs and presenting the heart of millions of souls who cannot express themselves. We have with us a young doctor, an entrepreneur, a TEDx speaker, and a columnist, Miss Anurupa Roy. We welcome you, ma'am. How are you, ma'am?
It's good.
Okay, so tell us about the journey. How have you started it?
So the dog you see right now and the others you saw just now, they're not pet, like I did not keep them as pet from the beginning. They were rescues. And like many of us, I did not plan to rescue, it just happened. Because in India, we see a lot of problems with animals, especially dogs are seen everywhere comparatively, cows, dogs. They are more seen on the ground. Monkeys are also there, but they're on the trees. So one fine day, I saw a couple of such distressed puppies, and I decided to bring them home, help them in some way. And I guess from there, the journey started.
In today's world where people are oftenly giving excuses of not adopting street animals, like say we are having a very busy schedule, we can't afford to have a dog, we can't take care of them. Like they have time to adopt the animals which are of higher cost and are from international breeds, but when it comes to stray animals, they don't have time. What's your take on that?
I believe that if someone claims herself or himself to be an animal lover, it should go beyond breeds. I don't get this concept where people love breed dogs. I've seen such cases even in my society, and everywhere we see that some of them, they love breed dogs. They buy them from the breeders who do not treat the dogs ethically most of the times, if not always, and they hate street dogs. So for me, the concept of loving an animal is not because how it looks, but because it has a soul, it has feelings, it's a body with flesh and soul and blood, and it feels hunger, it feels pain. So for me also to understand how this works is very difficult. I never got this concept, but yes, in India, it is very difficult, or at least it was difficult for people to understand that the street dogs are also a breed. They can be a pet, they can be a beautiful pet. Most of the times, what we fail to see is that the street dogs do not look good. But it's because of the circumstances where they live. They live on the streets, they survive barely with one meal
They're
a
also
day.
not getting that much of nourishment.
Care, so many things are there. For example, we feed omega-3 to our dogs, the natural ones. Do you expect a street dog to get omega-3? No, right? They're always wrapped in mud and dirt. So we fail, or most of us fail to see the beauty and the soul behind the image, the visible image.
Like I mentioned before, there are a lot of people who are giving so much of excuses of not being able to adopt a dog or to take care of it. You are also a person who is inclined into too much of businesses and fields, like you are an entrepreneur, a doctor, a TEDx speaker. How are you managing to take care of such kind of, like, there is a huge number of stray dogs that you are taking care of?
I believe if you want to do something, you get time. So, for example, I see people around me visiting temples early in the morning. For me, it's like taking care of dogs instead of visiting temples regularly. Because I'm not very religious, and I feel religion is very private. So I get some time there. And as I said, I really want to do something for them. They feel hunger. And I can't just imagine how they spend their days and months without food, without care. When I started rescuing, I started to see the pain. Before I rescued my first dog, I was also like others. Okay, fine, they're on the streets. Cool. I gave one biscuit sometimes, at times may not. But I could not go deeper into their problems. But after my first rescue, I understood the whole game, how it works in the ecosystem.
In recent cases, the dog bite cases and rabies have become so popular, and people are getting so much of attention on it. So, in a society that you are living in and also having so much of stray dogs, aren't people afraid of it?
That's a really good question. Coming to your first point, the number of dog bite cases and rabies. Yes, I think in the last 7 months to 1 year, we saw a lot of articles online in the media about dog bites, which was very weird because it never happened in the past. Now, the question is, I'm a doctor. If I have to consider deaths from various causes, rabies is nowhere in the list. If you if you ask anyone to tell you the top 10 causes of deaths in India, rabies is not even in the top 20. So now the question is, if it is not a major cause of death, how come media had been showing this so much, so many times? It felt like a kind of propaganda. And when media and the mainstream media and the independent media covered the same article again and again, it amplified, the numbers amplified. Secondly, the point is data, the numbers they show. I see all sort of numbers online, the numbers of rabies cases and numbers of death bite. But if you have to look at the parliamentary answers to the parliamentary questions about the death from rabies and the dog bites, they are very different. So now, who to believe?
Yes.
What I know is that we do not have one patient, one medical data to exactly find out what is the number of death caused by rabies. Now, few months back, someone from the legal industry, he claimed online that BLK Kapoor Hospital frames rabies cases when they could not find a diagnosis for a related symptom.
Okay.
Now, if it is true, it is quite serious. If one such big hospital, BLK Kapoor Hospital is one of the top hospitals in the capital region, if they are able to do this and if claims are believed to be true, again, we saw it in the media. So now if we start believing everything in the media and start connecting the dots, I don't understand who to believe because the numbers are not consistent. The data absolutely, the source is unverified. Now, what to call it?
So, according to you, the ground reality is completely different of what we are getting.
Exactly. And it all started, unfortunately, through media. They started showcasing how dog bites. So the same video we saw later why the dog is bitten. It was, bitten by that person who was later bitten by the dog.
Okay.
So it was beaten by that person who was later bitten by the dog. And there are infinite such videos. And the kids, they throw stones at the dog. And most of the times, the dog do not backfire. It is occasionally that they bite back. And of course, what do you expect? If someone is beating you, someone is harming you, everyone has a protective instinct. They tend to protect themselves.
Correct.
And, we have never taught anyone how to be empathetic, how to not criminalize this fun with animals in form of cruelty.
Correct.
And hence we see some bites. But how these dog bites translated to rabies death, the game is completely different because rabies is 100% preventable. Now, there are many claims in the media stating that the patient has taken injections, but patient died of rabies. Now, if a rabies vaccine makes someone immune to death, it's 100% preventable. It's proven worldwide. It's not that India per se data or something I am saying. It is proven worldwide. Then how the patient died, the questions should be to somebody else. The questions should be on the vaccine. The question should be how the vaccine is stored or from where the vaccine is sourced. So many things come into picture. And I was amazed to see that after taking rabies vaccine, if they are able to print that the patient died, they never questioned how they died with a preventable disease.
Correct.
So things are not clear at all. Whatever we read and see in the media is absolutely half-baked.
In many cases, the dog bites are done in defense, like they do it to defend themselves. Animal rights are as equal as human rights. Like human have the rights of living the way they want to, the dignity they carry, it is as equal as the animals should be. So how can animal abusing be fixed?
Law, any form of abuse can be fixed with law. For example, if I see abuse there, now I can go and beat up that person. But that is not what our law has taught us. You should not be taking law in your hands. Of course, we should not stand there and see the whole thing happening. Of course, we have to stop a crime, stop an abuse. But to answer the abuse in the same format, I guess India is a country where laws is strict. And for a country like India, laws are supposed to be strict. There are very interesting research where animal crimes, they convert to human crimes. Many big international geek universities have proven that. So I always tell people that if you're not a dog lover, you should still be worried of people who are doing a lot of crimes of animals because they lack empathy. They can do such kind of crimes on human as well. And if you look around, if you read the news, I guess more than dog bites, we have the news of rapes and child abduction and I know what not. How many things to say.
Okay. Do you see yourself as one of the most important and relevant protector for stray animals?
One of the most, for sure, but not the most, because there are too many people working and taking care of animals. I believe I'm doing very less. I know caregivers who are full-time into this. As you said in the beginning, I have a job. Taking care of animals is not something I do full-time. I'm not an animal care activist, but there are people who are taking care of hundreds of dogs and cows and every form of animal. For example, if you talk about animal abuse, in my past interviews, many people have asked me to talk about like other animals, whether it is donkeys, horses, cows, so many other animals. And I just want to make it clear to everyone that the situation of animals in India is grave and it's not about just dogs.
Correct.
The dog thing happened very recently. But you look at any animal, look at horse who are used in the marriages, look at the animals who are used in pilgrimages, how they are kept. I mean, the animals which are tamed, which can be tamed, the condition is very bad most of the places. Dog breeding, like I remember you pointed out one thing that people love to adopt breed dogs. But if you go deeper into how a breeding industry works in India, most are illegal, unethical. They use the dog till they can and then they just leave the dog outside on the roads to die on its own. So any form of abuse, we need laws. And it is what now all the animal lovers, including me, are appealing to the government that what we see today is not because these dogs suddenly came onto the roads and started biting people. The numbers increased because none of us took the sterilization thing sincerely.
Correct.
I will take you through my society dogs where you see everyone, almost 99% is sterilized by me with my own funds. Today I'm able to do it, but a person need not be earning enough to spend 3,000 to 20,000 for a sterilization at a private hospital. As far as the public healthcare facilities for animals are concerned, I'm not very sure the quality of treatment being provided.
So, Dr. Anurupa, how many stray animals do you have in number?
In my home, I have got 4 of them, but I've rescued more than 25. On the streets,
Amazing.
I have more than 20. Now I have sterilized almost everyone. I'm expecting the numbers to not rise because it is very difficult for the dogs to live on the streets.
Correct.
There are no feeders, almost none. Healthcare is very costly. We want them to live happily as long as they can.
Can you share any story of a stray animal that is quite surprising and, heartfelt for you?
Yes, of course. I would love to show a couple of incidences. I have one puppy which was ran over by a car. I have one dog who was beaten and she had a surgery very recently. Everyone here nearby. I have one dog who was taken up by a loving family, claimed that they like animals.
Okay.
But a festival came, a Hindu festival, I don't want to name festival and get into controversy. A Hindu festival came recently during Diwali and they just left the dog outside on the road stating that, it comes onto our bed and table. So the whole game of adopting dogs is not limited to taking their cute cuddly pictures and putting up on Instagram or making reels with them. It goes beyond that. My pets, one of them who is no more, had kidney disorders, had epilepsy. She used to relieve herself inside home. You have to keep cleaning them. It's a lot of dedication, but it is not as difficult as people think it is. Most of the time, if a dog is healthy and if you keep a dog in a good manner, they, especially the Indian breed, they really live longer without much health problems. Unlike the breed dogs.
Is it safe to say that these stray animals can be protectors too for the society?
Of course. Recently, the last 1 week, I saw so many cases in the media. A pack of dogs. Can you imagine? It saved a newborn baby, I think been kept outside or being rejected by their parents. I saw a dog who saved so many from bomb blast. The dogs who are in the armed forces, they are always the heroes. Recently, past 5-6 months back, a dog saved so many from earthquake and a landslide in the hills, and everything is there in the media. So there are infinite times where you see examples how dogs, especially dogs, they saved like thousands and millions of lives. It happens often. I see videos in the media where a female beggar is sleeping on the street and some men came to attack her, and her pet street dog, which just maybe stays with her, helped her stay safe from the attackers. There are infinite such videos online. It depends on what you want to see. More than that, it depends on what is being circulated.
Okay, so ma'am, my last question to you is, in your opinion, what is the best way to approach all the kind of things that can help these stray animals get a better life?
So firstly, I would say laws. One of the biggest problem with India is lack of implementation of these laws.
There are laws?
There are laws. This need to be strengthened because when these laws were made, for example, the penalty of 50 rupees, when it was made, 50 rupees had some value. Today, you don't get a chocolate out like with 50 rupees. So we need to strengthen our existing laws as well as we need to bring down newer laws. I'm not sure where rapes on animals and murders and shootings, acid attacks and all these stuffs were there previously, because I think I'm not that, I wasn't born in that era. I don't know the news, but now because of the ascent of media or social media, we see a lot of such cases. They are serious and we see a lot of such cases on humans as well. So we need laws on every front, and not only laws on paper, they should be implemented. Secondly, whatever currently we have, animal birth control rules, it was never implemented correctly. The number of dogs which we see today, they are here because they were allowed to breed. Now, they do not understand between the selective breeding and when to breed, why not to breed, etc. It's on us to help them stay controlled the numbers, which I think the authorities failed to apply the laws, the ABC rules. And in spite of having so many people like us, there are NGOs, there are people like us who help them, but I'm not sure what went wrong. People know what went wrong there. So we need to strengthen our ABC laws completely. We do not need shelters, absolutely. There is no point keeping a healthy dog in the shelter for scientific reasons. These shelters will be breeding ground for diseases. You cannot define or confine someone's life within a 5x4 square feet cabin. It's absolutely inhuman, unhealthy, and it is a very costly affair. The current shelters we have, we could not maintain that, unfortunately. I'm not at all hopeful that these shelters could be maintained, even if they are privatized. Even if we give it to individual private parties or NGOs, it is very difficult to maintain because, again, the same thing will happen which happened in the past with the existing shelters.
Correct.
Their life will be miserable. So just we need ABC rules to be followed strictly, animal laws, animal abuse laws, newer ones and strengthening of the older ones, and to teach people empathy.
And of course, people like you.
Yes, we are there, but we need more people to understand that it's not a very difficult job. It is a costly affair because, like as I said, private hospitals are very costly where you get some good care. It is costly, but not very costly. If someone can be a regular feeder, it's not very costly to feed the dogs.
Correct.
You can be watchful and not very difficult. I really want more people to be in the service. It could be any animal.
Okay, so Dr. Roy, this is the end of our conversation, and I believe that this vision of yours get to achieve a lot of milestone in upcoming time. So wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
This is it for today. We'll be back again with different stories only on Story Makers. This is your host Khushi Awasthi signing off.